Before we delve into these rules, let us first understand the nature of attachment itself. In the world of Caesar, we are taught from an early age that our happiness, our very sense of self, is dependent on others. We are conditioned to believe that our worth is measured by the affection and approval of those around us. This, my dear friends, is the great illusion that keeps us bound to a life of limitation and suffering. But I say unto you, true freedom lies not in clinging to others, but in recognizing the divinity within yourself. For you are God made manifest, the very essence of creation expressing itself in human form. And in this realization lies the power to detach from all external sources of validation and love. Now, let us turn our attention to the first rule of emotional detachment. Recognize the I am within. This rule, my beloved listeners, is the foundation upon which all else is built. For until you truly understand and embody the I am presence within you, you will forever be at the mercy of external circumstances and relationships. The I am is not some distant, unknowable force. It is the very core of your being, the divine spark that animates your existence. It is the God within, the source of all creation, and the wellspring of infinite possibility. When you say I am, you are invoking the name of God, for did not the scriptures tell us, I am that I am? This is the name by which the divine identified itself to Moses, and it is the name by which you must identify yourself in every moment of your existence. To emotionally detach from someone, you must first attach yourself wholly and completely to the I am within. This is not a rejection of love or connection, but rather a recognition that all love, all connection, all fulfillment comes from within. Imagine, if you will, a beautiful oak tree. Its branches reach towards the heavens, its leaves dance in the sunlight. But what gives this tree its strength, its very life? Is it not the roots hidden beneath the earth, drawing nourishment from the soil? So too must you be rooted in the I am, drawing your strength and sustenance not from the fleeting affections of others, but from the eternal wellspring of divinity within. Practice this, my dear friends. In every moment of your day, affirm the I am. Say to yourself, I am love. I am peace. I am fulfillment. Feel the power of these words resonating through every cell of your being. For in doing so, you are aligning yourself with the creative force of the universe. As you strengthen your connection to the I am, you will find that your need for emotional validation from others begins to diminish. Like a candle whose flame grows ever brighter, you will become a source of light unto yourself and others. But remember, this is not a practice of isolation or disconnection. Rather, it is the foundation for true, unconditional love. For when you are firmly rooted in the I am, you can extend love to others without expectation or attachment. You become a channel for divine love, allowing it to flow through you freely, unobstructed by fear or need. Now let us move on to the second rule of emotional detachment, live in the end. This rule, my dear listeners, is the very essence of creation. For what you experience in your physical reality is but a shadow, a reflection of what you have already accepted as true in your imagination. To emotionally detach from someone, you must live in the end of complete emotional freedom and self-sufficiency. You must see yourself in your mind's eye as one who is whole, complete and fulfilled, independent of any external relationship or circumstance. Close your eyes for a moment, if you will, and imagine yourself standing tall, radiating confidence and inner peace. See yourself moving through your day with grace and ease, unaffected by the opinions or actions of others. Feel the joy and contentment that comes from knowing that you are the source of your own happiness. This, my friends, is living in the end. It is not a denial of your current circumstances, but rather a recognition of the power of your imagination to shape your reality. For as you persist in this vision of emotional freedom, you will find that your outer world begins to conform to this inner truth. Remember, the world is yourself pushed out. What you hold as true in your imagination must, by the very laws of creation, manifest in your experience. Therefore, if you continue to imagine yourself as emotionally dependent on another, you will continue to experience that dependency in your life. But if you dare to imagine yourself as emotionally free, as one who is complete unto themselves, then that is what you shall become. The person from whom you wish to detach will either fall away naturally from your life, or your relationship with them will transform into one of mutual respect and freedom. Practice this living in the end daily. Before you sleep at night and as you wake in the morning, spend a few moments in quiet contemplation, experiencing the feeling of being emotionally detached and self-sufficient. Feel the relief, the lightness, the joy that comes with this state of being. As you persist in this practice, you will find that your emotional reactions to the person begin to change. Where once there was attachment and need, there will be understanding and compassion. Where once there was fear of loss, there will be an unshakable knowing of your own completeness. Now let us explore the third rule of emotional detachment. Assume the state of the wish fulfilled. This rule, my dear friends, is closely related to living in the end, but it goes a step further. It asks you not only to imagine the end state, but to fully assume it as your current reality. This is the art of what I call thinking from the end rather than thinking of the end. To emotionally detach from someone, you must assume the state of one who is already detached. This is not a matter of pretending or forcing yourself to feel a certain way. Rather, it is about stepping into a new state of consciousness, a new self-concept. Imagine, if you will, that you are an actor on a stage. Up until now, you have been playing the role of someone emotionally attached and dependent. But now you are given a new role, that of someone who is emotionally free and self-sufficient. Your task is to fully embody this new character, to think, feel, and act as they would. How would this emotionally detached version of yourself move through the world? How would they speak? How would they react to situations? How would they feel about themselves and others? Assume these qualities fully, not as something to be achieved in the future, but as your present reality. This assumption of the wish fulfilled is not about denial or suppression of your current feelings. It is about shifting your focus and your energy to a new state of being. It is about choosing moment by moment to align yourself with the version of you that is already emotionally detached. As you assume this state, you may find that your thoughts and feelings towards the person begin to shift naturally. Where once there was a constant preoccupation with their actions and reactions, there is now a calm indifference. Where once there was a need for their approval or affection, there is now a deep sense of self-approval and self-love. Remember, my dear listeners, that your assumption, if persisted in, will harden into fact. Therefore, guard your assumptions carefully. Do not allow yourself to slip back into the old state of attachment. If you find your thoughts drifting towards dependency or need, gently but firmly bring them back to the state of the wish fulfilled. This practice may feel challenging at first, especially if you have been in a state of emotional attachment for a long time. But I assure you, with persistence and faith, it will become more natural. For you are not creating a new reality, but simply aligning yourself with the truth of your being, a being that is whole, complete, and free. As you continue to assume the state of emotional detachment, you will find that your interactions with the person begin to change. You may notice that you no longer react to their words or actions with the same intensity. You may find that you can engage with them from a place of calm neutrality, free from the need to control or change them. This, my friends, is the power of assumption. It is the key to not only emotional detachment, but to all creation. For as you assume, so shall it be done unto you. Now let us turn our attention to the fourth rule of emotional detachment. Release all resistance. This rule, my beloved listeners, may seem paradoxical at first, for in your desire to detach, you may find yourself resisting the very feelings and thoughts you wish to release. But I say unto you, what you resist persists. The key to true detachment lies not in fighting against your attachment, but in releasing all resistance to what is. Consider, if you will, the nature of a river. It flows effortlessly towards the sea, not by pushing against the rocks in its path, but by flowing around them. So too must you learn to flow around the obstacles of attachment rather than struggling against them. Resistance often manifests as judgment of yourself for feeling attached, judgment of the other person for their actions, judgment of the situation itself. But judgment, my dear friends, is the antithesis of detachment. It keeps you bound to the very thing you wish to release. Instead, practice acceptance. Accept your feelings of attachment without condemnation. Accept the other person exactly as they are, without trying to change them. Accept the situation as it is, without wishing it were different. This acceptance is not resignation or passivity. It is not about liking or approving of everything. Rather, it is about acknowledging what is without adding the extra layer of emotional resistance. It is about saying yes to the present moment, even as you work towards creating a different future. As you release resistance, you may find that many of the painful emotions associated with attachment begin to dissolve naturally. For it is not the attachment itself that causes suffering, but your resistance to it. When you cease to fight against what is, you open yourself to the flow of life, allowing transformation to occur effortlessly. Practice this release of resistance in every moment. When you notice yourself tensing up emotionally, whether in thought of the person or in their presence, consciously relax. Let go of the need to control the situation or the other person's behavior. Allow yourself to simply be without judgment or expectation. This practice of non-resistance extends to your thoughts as well. When thoughts of attachment arise, do not try to push them away or replace them with positive thoughts. Instead, observe them with detached awareness. Watch them arise and pass away like clouds in the sky without getting caught up in their story. As you cultivate this attitude of non-resistance, you will find that your emotional energy begins to shift. The intensity of your attachment will begin to dissolve, not through force or willpower, but through the gentle power of acceptance and allowing. Remember, my dear friends, that emotional detachment is not about becoming cold or unfeeling. It is about freeing yourself from the compulsive need for external validation and control. It is about creating space for true love to flourish, love that is given freely without expectation or attachment. Now let us explore the fifth and final rule of emotional detachment: cultivate inner stillness. This rule, my beloved listeners, is the culmination of all that we have discussed, for it is in the depths of inner stillness that true detachment is realized. Not as a concept or a practice, but as your very nature. Inner stillness is not the absence of thought or emotion. It is the presence of awareness, pure, unbounded, and eternally free. It is the discovery of your true self, beyond all attachments and identifications. To cultivate inner stillness, you must learn to step back from the constant chatter of your mind. You must create space between your thoughts, between your breaths, between your heartbeats. In this space lies the key to emotional freedom. Begin by setting aside time each day for quiet contemplation. Find a comfortable place where you will not be disturbed. Close your eyes and turn your attention inward. Focus on your breath, feeling the gentle rise and fall of your chest. As thoughts arise, and they will, for that is the nature of the mind, simply observe them without judgment. Do not try to stop your thoughts or change them. Instead, watch them come and go, like waves on the ocean of your consciousness. As you continue this practice, you may begin to notice moments of profound stillness. Moments when the chatter of your mind subsides and you are left with a deep sense of peace and presence. These moments, however brief, are glimpses of your true nature, the unchanging awareness that underlies all experience. From this place of inner stillness, emotional detachment arises naturally. For in the depths of your being, you recognize that you are not your thoughts, not your emotions, not your attachments. You are the awareness in which all these arise and pass away. As you cultivate this inner stillness, you will find that your emotional reactions begin to lose their grip. The person from whom you wish to detach no longer has the power to disturb your peace. Their words and actions may still create ripples on the surface of your mind, but they cannot touch the depths of your being. This inner stillness becomes your refuge, a place of peace and clarity to which you can return at any moment. When you feel yourself becoming entangled in attachment or emotional reactivity, simply take a deep breath and reconnect with this still center within you. From this place of stillness, you can engage with the world and with the person from whom you're detaching with grace and equanimity. You can love without attachment, care without dependency, and relate without losing yourself. Remember, my dear friends, that this inner stillness is not something you need to create or achieve. It is already present within you, waiting to be recognized. Your task is simply to remove the obstacles, the mental and emotional noise that obscure its presence. As you practice these 5 rules, recognizing the I am within, living in the end, assuming the state of the wish fulfilled, releasing all resistance, and cultivating inner stillness, you will find that emotional detachment becomes not just a goal to be achieved, but a natural expression of your true self. Now, my beloved listeners, I want you to understand that this journey of emotional detachment is not a linear process. It is not something that happens overnight or in a steady, predictable progression. Rather, it is a dance, a beautiful, sometimes challenging dance between your habitual patterns of attachment and your growing awareness of your true, detached nature. There will be moments of profound clarity and freedom, where you feel completely detached and at peace. Cherish these moments, for they are glimpses of your true potential. But do not become attached to them, for attachment to detachment is still attachment. There will also be moments when you feel as though you've slipped back into old patterns of emotional dependency. Do not judge yourself for these moments. They are not failures, but opportunities for deeper understanding and growth. Each time you notice yourself becoming entangled in attachment, it is an invitation to practice these principles anew. Remember, emotional detachment is not about suppressing your feelings or becoming indifferent to others. It is about freeing yourself from the compulsive need for external validation and control. It is about creating space for true love to flourish, love that is given freely without expectation or attachment. As you continue on this journey, you may find that your relationship with the person from whom you're detaching begins to transform. Without the weight of your emotional expectations and needs, They may feel freer to be themselves. You may discover a new kind of relationship emerging, one based on mutual respect and genuine care rather than dependency and fear. Or you may find that as you detach emotionally, the relationship naturally falls away. For relationships built solely on attachment and need cannot survive in the light of true emotional freedom. Trust in this process, for it is the natural unfolding of your alignment with your true self. Throughout this journey, be gentle with yourself. Emotional detachment is not about forcing yourself to feel or not feel certain things. It is about allowing yourself to be exactly as you are in each moment, while holding the vision of your emotionally free self. Practice self-compassion as you navigate this path. When you notice yourself slipping into old patterns of attachment, rather than berating yourself, offer yourself the same kindness and understanding you would offer a dear friend. Speak to yourself with words of encouragement and love. Remember also to celebrate your progress, no matter how small it may seem. Each moment of awareness, each choice to align with your detached self is a victory. Acknowledge these moments, for they are the building blocks of your transformation. As you move through your days practicing these 5 rules of emotional detachment, you may begin to notice changes not just in your relationship with the specific person you're detaching from, but in all your relationships and interactions. You may find yourself becoming less reactive in general, less easily swayed by the opinions and actions of others. You may discover a new sense of inner peace and stability that remains constant regardless of external circumstances. This, my dear friends, is the true gift of emotional detachment. It is not just about freeing yourself from one specific attachment, but about realizing your inherent freedom in all situations. As you continue to practice, you may find that the very concept of detachment begins to shift. What once seemed like a goal to be achieved becomes simply your natural state of being. You realize that you were never truly attached in the first place, that attachment was merely a story you were telling yourself. In this realization lies true freedom. For when you know yourself as the unchanging awareness beneath all thoughts and emotions, what is there to attach to or detach from? You are already complete, already whole, already free. From this place of inner freedom, you can engage fully with life without becoming entangled. You can love deeply without losing yourself. You can care profoundly without being controlled by your caring. This, my beloved listeners, is the promise of emotional detachment. It is not a dry intellectual concept, but a living reality that you can embody in every moment of your existence. As we near the end of our exploration, I want to remind you that the power to emotionally detach lies entirely within you. It is not dependent on the actions or reactions of others. It does not require the cooperation or understanding of the person from whom you're detaching. It is a choice that you make moment by moment to align with your true free nature. In every interaction, in every thought of the person, you have the opportunity to practice these principles. Each moment is a new beginning, a fresh chance to choose detachment over attachment, freedom over dependency. Remember, the world around you is a reflection of your inner state. As you cultivate emotional detachment within yourself, you will find that your outer world begins to mirror this inner freedom. Relationships that were once sources of pain and struggle may transform into sources of joy and mutual growth, or they may fall away entirely, making space for new, more aligned connections to enter your life. Trust in this process, my dear friends. Trust in the wisdom of your own being. For as you align yourself with the truth of who you are, a divine, infinite being, complete unto yourself, all things must rearrange themselves to match this inner knowing. And so as we come to the close of this discourse, I invite you to take a moment to reflect on what you've heard. Feel the truth of these words resonating within you. Know that the power to emotionally detach, to free yourself from all limiting attachments, is already within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed. Go forth from this place with a renewed commitment to your emotional freedom. Practice these 5 rules diligently. Recognize the I am within. Live in the end. Assume the state of the wish fulfilled. Release all resistance and cultivate inner stillness. But above all, remember that you are already that which you seek to become. You are already detached, already free, already complete. Your task is simply to remove the veils of illusion that obscure this truth. In every moment, you have a choice. You can choose to identify with your attachments and dependencies, or you can choose to align with your true, free nature. Make this choice consciously, make it with love, and make it again and again, until it becomes your natural state of being. And know, my beloved friends, that as you walk this path of emotional detachment, you are not alone. The entire universe conspires to support you in your journey towards freedom. For in freeing yourself, you contribute to the freedom of all beings. May you go forth in peace, in love, and in the unshakable knowing of your own divine completeness. May you find the strength to detach from all that no longer serves you, and the courage to embrace the fullness of your true, liberated self. Remember, you are the creator of your reality. You are the author of your story. Write a story of freedom, of joy, of unconditional love. For that is your birthright, and it is within your power to claim it. Go now and be the embodiment of emotional freedom. Be the living proof that true love needs no attachment, that true strength comes from within, that true peace is your very nature. And as you do, know that you are fulfilling your highest purpose, for in freeing yourself, you light the way for others. In detaching from your own limitations, you help to liberate the world. This, my dear friends, is the ultimate gift of emotional detachment. It is not just a personal practice, but a service to all of humanity. For as you free yourself, you create a ripple effect that touches all those around you, inviting them to recognize their own inherent freedom. So go forth with courage, with faith, and with the unwavering conviction that emotional detachment is not just possible, but inevitable. For it is the truth of your being, waiting to be realized. May you be blessed on your journey. May you find the strength to persist in these practices. And may you come to know, beyond all doubt, the joy and peace that comes from true emotional freedom.
Have you ever noticed how people seem to attract wealth effortlessly, while others struggle to make ends meet? The contrast is stark, yet the truth behind this phenomenon is far more profound than meets the eye. It's not about luck, inheritance, or even hard work. The real secret lies in understanding the nature of reality itself. Sarah constantly worries about money, always feeling like there's never enough. She clips coupons, hesitates to spend on necessities, and lives in a perpetual state of financial anxiety. John, on the other hand, moves through life with ease. He doesn't obsess over price tags, enjoys life's pleasures, and somehow always has enough to cover his expenses and then some. What sets them apart? It's not their bank accounts or their jobs. It's their mindset, their fundamental belief about the nature of wealth and abundance. You see, we live in a world of infinite abundance. Every resource, every opportunity, every possibility exists in limitless supply. Yet most of us have been conditioned to see scarcity. We've been taught that there's only so much to go around, that we must compete for limited resources, that wealth is hard to come by and even harder. This illusion of lack is just that, an illusion. There's a veil pulled over our eyes, obscuring the true nature of our reality. But once you understand this truth, once you truly grasp the concept of abundance, your entire world shifts. Think about it. Nature itself is a testament to abundance. A single apple seed can grow into a tree that produces thousands of apples, each containing seeds for thousands more trees. The universe expands infinitely. Ideas and creativity flow endlessly. There is no true scarcity in our world, only the scarcity we create in our mind. But how do we break free from this illusion? How do we step into the reality of abundance? It starts with a fundamental shift in consciousness. You must begin to see yourself not as a mere participant of a world, struggling to get your share, but as the creator of your reality. Your consciousness, your awareness, is the very substance from which your world is formed. This isn't some new age concept or wishful thinking. It's a principle that's been understood by great minds throughout history. The world you experience is a reflection of your inner state, your beliefs, your assumptions, your expectations. These are the building blocks of your reality. When you believe in lack, when you assume scarcity, that's exactly what you'll experience. Your mind will filter your experiences, focusing on every instance of not enough, reinforcing your belief in a world of limitation. But when you shift your consciousness to abundance, when you truly believe and expect wealth and prosperity, your experience of the world transforms. Opportunities that were always there suddenly become visible. Resources you never noticed appear at your fingertips. The universe itself seems to conspire to fulfill your expectations of abundance. This isn't about denying the current state of your bank account or pretending that bills don't exist. It's about understanding that your external reality is a reflection of your internal state. By changing your inner world, your beliefs, assumptions, and expectations. Consider the power of assumption. When you assume wealth, when you live from a state of abundance, you naturally make different choices. You carry yourself differently. You interact with others differently. You approach opportunities differently. And these subtle shifts create ripples that transform. But it's not enough to simply think positive thoughts or repeat affirmations. This transformation requires a complete overhaul of your consciousness. You must become, in your mind and heart, the wealthy person you desire to be. This is where the power of imagination comes into play. Your imagination is not mere fantasy. It's the creative force of the universe itself, expressing through you. When you vividly imagine wealth and abundance, when you feel the emotions associated with prosperity, you're not daydreaming. You're engaging in the most powerful creative act possible. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine yourself living in complete financial freedom. Feel the peace, the joy, the sense of security and possibility. Experience the emotions of having more than enough, of being able to give generously, of living life on your own terms. It is not an exercise in wishful thinking. It's a deliberate act of creation. As you engage in this practice regularly, you will notice a shift. Your fears about money will begin to dissolve. Your decisions will align more with abundance than scarcity. You'll find yourself naturally gravitating towards opportunities for growth and prosperity. But here's persist. The old patterns of lack and limitation will try to reassert themselves. Doubts will creep in. The external world may not change overnight. This is where faith comes in, not blind faith, but faith based on an understanding the true nature of reality. Remember, the physical world is a reflection of consciousness. It may take time for your new state of consciousness to fully manifest in your external reality. But if you persist, if you maintain that state of wealth consciousness, regardless of external circumstances, your world will inevitably transform. This is the true meaning of acting instead. It's not about pretending or deceiving others. It's about aligning your entire being, your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the reality you wish to experience. It's about living from the end, embodying the state of wealth and abundance now, knowing that the external must conform to the internal. As you begin to live from this new state of consciousness, you'll notice subtle shifts. Perhaps you'll feel more confident in business meetings. Maybe you'll find yourself drawn to books or conversations about wealth creation. You might start seeing opportunities where before you saw only obstacles. These are signs that your inner transformation is beginning to manifest externally. Embrace them. Celebrate them. Let them reinforce your faith in the power of your consciousness to shape your reality. But what about those moments when doubt creeps in? When the bank account seems low or unexpected expenses arise? This is where the real work begins. It's easy to feel abundant when everything is going well. The true test is maintaining that state of wealth consciousness even when external circumstances seem to contradict it. Remind yourself of the truth. Abundance is your natural state. Wealth is your birthright. The external world may take time to catch up with your new inner reality, but it must and will conform if you hold steady to your new state of being. This is not about denying or ignoring your current circumstances. It's about seeing them for what they truly are, temporary conditions that have no power over your true, abundant nature. You acknowledge them, but you don't give them power. Instead, you reaffirm your commitment to living from a state of wealth and abundance. As you continue on this journey, you'll find that your entire relationship with money transforms. No longer will it be a source of stress or anxiety. Instead, it becomes a natural, joyful expression of the abundance that you are. You'll find yourself spending wisely but generously, investing confidently and giving. This shift in consciousness doesn't just affect your financial life. It spills over into every area of your existence. Relationships improve as you no longer come from a place of need or lack. Health enhances as you release the stress and anxiety associated with financial worry. Creativity flourishes as you free yourself from the constraints of scarcity thinking. You begin to see the world through new eyes. Where once you saw limitation, you now see infinite possibility. Where you once felt powerless, you now recognize your innate power as a conscious creator. The illusion of lack dissolves. revealing the breathtaking reality of abundance that has always been there, waiting for you to recognize. This is the transformative power of acting as if you are wealthy. It's not about pretending or faking it. It's about aligning yourself with the truth of who you really are, a being of infinite potential living in a universe of boundless abundance. As you embrace this truth, as you live from this state of wealth consciousness, you're watched in awe as your life transforms, reflecting the abundance that has always been your true nature. Remember, this journey of transformation is not about reaching a destination. It's about embracing a new way of being. Every day you have the opportunity to choose abundance over scarcity, wealth over lack. Every moment is a chance to reaffirm your true prosperous nature. As you continue to act from this place of abundance, you'll find that the universe responds in kind. Opportunities will arise, resources will appear, and your external reality will increasingly reflect your inner state of wealth. But the greatest reward is not the material abundance. It's the freedom, the joy, the peace that comes from aligning with your true abundant nature. So, are you ready to shed the illusion of lack and step into the reality of abundance? Are you prepared to act as if you are wealthy and watch your life change? The choice is yours. The power is within you to activate it. And a world of infinite abundance awaits your discovery. Now that we've unveiled the illusion of lack and recognized the abundant nature of our reality, it's time to harness the most powerful tools at our disposal: imagination and assumption. These are not mere mental exercises or flights of fancy. They are the very mechanisms through which we shape our reality and manifest our desires. What is the difference between the wealthy individual and the one struggling to make ends meet? Is it merely the numbers in their bank account? Or is it something far more fundamental, their self-image, their bare beliefs about what's possible, their expectations of life? The truth is, long before wealth manifests in the physical world, it exists as a state of consciousness. The wealthy person sees themselves as wealthy, expects abundance, and naturally aligns their actions with this self-image. This is the power of imagination and assumption at work. But how exactly does this process unfold? How can we harness these innate abilities to transform our financial reality? It begins with understanding the nature of imagination. Your imagination is not separate from reality. It is the very substance from which reality is formed. When you vividly imagine a scenario, your brain and body respond as if it were actually happening. This is why visualization techniques are so powerful in sports medicine, and yes, in wealth creation. When you imagine yourself as wealthy, and you mentally rehearse the life of abundance you desire, you're not engaging in wishful thinking. You're literally rewiring your brain, creating new neural pathways that align with your desired reality. You're training your subconscious mind to recognize and seize opportunities for wealth creation that may have always been there, but were previously invisible to you. But imagination alone is not enough. It must be coupled with assumption, the firm belief that what you've imagined is not just possible but inevitable. This is where many people falter. They can picture wealth and abundance, but deep down, they don't truly believe it's possible for them. Assumption is the bridge between imagination and manifestation. When you assume a state of wealth, when you live, think, and act as if you are already wealthy, you set in motion a series of events that must inevitably lead to the manifestation of that state. This is not about pretending or deceiving others. It's about aligning your entire being with the reality you wish to experience. It's about embodying a state of wealth so completely that it becomes your natural way of being. So how do we put this into practice? How do we use imagination and assumption to transform our financial reality? Start by creating a vivid mental image of your ideal wealthy self. See yourself living in the home you desire, driving the car you want, enjoying the lifestyle you aspire to. But don't stop at the material possessions. Imagine how you feel in this state of abundance. Experience the peace, the confidence, the joy that comes with financial freedom. As you engage in this practice, pay attention to the details. What clothes are you wearing? How do you carry yourself? How do you interact with others? The more detailed and vivid your imagining, the more powerful its impact on your subconscious mind. Now here's the crucial step. As you imagine this scenario, you must assume it as your current reality. Feel the gratitude, the excitement, the sense of accomplishment as if you've already achieved this state of wealth. This is not about projecting into the future. It's about embodying that state of wealth right now. You might be thinking, but how can I assume wealth when my current circumstances show the opposite? This is where faith comes in, not blind faith, but faith based on understanding the creative power of your consciousness. Remember, your external world is a reflection of your inner state. By assuming the state of wealth, now regardless of current circumstances, you're setting in motion the forces that will bring that state into physical manifestation. This requires a shift in focus. Instead of obsessing over your current bank balance or financial worries, direct your attention to the abundance that surrounds you. Appreciate the wealth you already have, the air you breathe, the sun that shines, the infinite potential within you. As you cultivate this awareness of abundance, you find it easier to assume the state of wealth. Another powerful technique is to live from the end. This means structuring your day as if you were already living your ideal wealthy life. How would you start your morning? How would you approach your work? How would you interact with others? By aligning your actions with your assumed state of wealth, you reinforce that state in your subconscious mind. But what about when doubts creep in? When the bills pile up or unexpected expenses arise? This is where the real work begins. It's easy to feel wealthy when everything is going well. The true test is maintaining that state of wealth consciousness even when external circumstances seem to contradict it. You remind yourself, your imagination is more real than the world of appearances. Your assumed state of wealth is more powerful than temporary financial challenges. Instead of reacting with fear or anxiety, reaffirm your commitment to your assumed state of wealth. Use your imagination to see beyond the current circumstances to the abundance. That is your true nature. As you persist in this practice, you begin to notice subtle shifts. Perhaps you'll feel more confident in financial decisions. Maybe you'll find yourself drawn to books or conversations about wealth creation. You might start seeing opportunities where before you saw only obstacles. These are signs that your inner transformation is beginning to manifest externally. Embrace them. Celebrate them. Let them reinforce your faith in the power of your imagination and assumption. But don't stop there. As you begin to experience these changes, amplify them through your imagination. See them as confirmation of your wealthy state. Assume that they are just the beginning of the abundance that is flowing into your life. Remember, the goal is not just to accumulate money or possessions. It's to embody the state of wealth so completely that it becomes your natural way of being. This state of wealth consciousness will not only transform your financial reality, but will enhance every aspect of your life. You find that relationships improve as you no longer come from a place of need or lack. Your health may enhance as you release the stress and anxiety associated with financial worry. Your creativity may flourish as you free yourself from the constraints of scarcity thinking. As you continue to your imagination and assumption in this way, you'll discover that you're not just creating wealth, you're uncovering the abundant nature that has always been your true self. You're aligning with the infinite potential that exists within you and all around you. This journey of transformation through imagination and assumption is not always easy. There will be times when the old patterns of thinking try to reassert themselves. There will be moments when the external world seems to contradict your assumed state of wealth. In these moments, stand firm in your practice. Return to your imagination. Reinforce your assumption of wealth. Remember that your consciousness is the only true reality, and that the physical world must eventually conform to your dominant mental state. As you persist, you'll find that maintaining the state of wealth consciousness becomes easier and more natural. It will no longer feel like an effort or a practice. It will simply be who you are. And as this shift occurs, you will watch in amazement as your external reality transforms to match your inner state. Opportunities for wealth creation will seem to appear out of nowhere. The resources you need will show up at just the right time. People who can help you on your journey will enter your life. And through it all, you maintain a sense of peace, confidence, and joy that comes from knowing you are the creator of your reality. This is the true power of imagination and assumption. It's not about daydreaming or wishful thinking. It's about consciously directing the creative force of the universe that expresses through you. It's about aligning your entire being with the wealth and abundance that is your birthright. So, as you move forward on this journey, commit to making full use of your imagination. Vividly picture your ideal wealthy self. Feel the emotions associated with financial freedom. Assume the state of wealth as your current reality, regardless of external circumstances. And remember, this is not a one-time event. It's a way of life. Every day you have the opportunity to reinforce your state of wealth consciousness through your imagination and assumption. Every moment is a chance to align more fully with the abundance that is your true nature. As you do this, you'll find that acting as if you are wealthy becomes effortless. You will no longer feel like an act because you have fully embodied that state of wealth. And from this place of alignment, you watch in awe as your life transforms, reflecting the abundance that has always been within you. The power to create the wealth you desire lies within you. It always has. Through your imagination and assumption, you hold the key to unlocking a life of true abundance. The choice is yours. The power is yours. And the world of infinite possibility awaits your command. So, are you ready to fully harness the power of your imagination? Are you prepared to assume the state of wealth and watch as your reality transforms? The time is now. The power is within you. And the life of abundance you've always dreamed of is waiting for you. As we've explored the power of imagination and assumption in creating wealth, we now come to the most crucial element of this transformative process: persistent faith. This is where the rubber meets the road, where your commitment to your vision of wealth is truly tested. What does it mean to have faith in the context of manifesting wealth? It's not about blindly believing in a future windfall or passively waiting for abundance to fall into your lap. No, the faith we're talking about is an unwavering conviction in the reality of your imagined state of wealth, a steadfast belief in the creative power of your consciousness. This faith is the bridge between your inner world of imagination and the outer world of physical manifestation. It's the fuel that keeps your vision alive when circumstances seem to contradict it. It's the anchor that holds you steady in your assumed state of wealth, regardless of temporary financial fluctuations. Maintaining this faith isn't always easy. There'll be moments of doubt, times when your bank account seems to mock your vision of abundance, days when the weight of bills and financial responsibilities threatens to crush your spirits. These are the moments that separate those who truly transform their financial reality from those who remain trapped in cycles of lack and limitation. So how do you cultivate and maintain this persistent faith? It starts with understanding that faith is not something you either have or don't have. It's a muscle that you strengthen through consistent practice. Every time you choose to hold fast to your vision of wealth in the face of contradictory circumstances, you're building that faith muscle. One powerful practice is to create a daily ritual of reaffirming your wealth consciousness. This could be a morning meditation where you fully immerse yourself in the feeling of abundance. Or it might be an evening review where you identify all the ways abundance manifested in your day, no matter how small. The key is consistency, doing this every single day, regardless of how you feel or what's happening in your external world. Another crucial aspect of maintaining faith is managing your mental diet. Just as you're careful about what you put into your physical body, you must be vigilant about what you feed your mind. Limit exposure to negative news about the economy or fearful conversations about money. Instead, surround yourself with stories of abundance, with people who believe in the possibility of wealth, with ideas that expand your conception of what's possible. But what about when doubts creep in? Because they will. It's natural for the human mind to question, to seek evidence, to want proof. The key is not to resist these doubts, but to meet them with understanding, and then gently redirect your focus back to your vision of wealth. Now arises my just a thought. It has no power unless I give it power. I choose instead to give power to my vision of abundance. Then immediately immerse yourself in the feeling of wealth and abundance. Feel the gratitude, the joy, the freedom as if it's already your reality. This is where the power of your imagination becomes crucial. Use it to create a vivid inner experience of wealth that's more real, more tangible to you than any temporary external circumstance. The more real you can make this inner experience, the easier it becomes to maintain faith in its eventual physical manifestation. Remember, the external world is always catching up to your inner reality. Your current financial circumstances are the result of past thoughts and beliefs. By maintaining faith in your new state of wealth consciousness, you are setting in motion the forces that will bring that state into physical manifestation. But faith without action is empty. This doesn't mean struggling or striving from a place of lack. Instead, it means allowing inspired action to flow naturally from your state of wealth consciousness. When you truly feel wealthy, you'll find yourself naturally drawn to opportunities for growth and abundance. You'll make decisions from a place of confidence rather than fear. You'll invest in yourself and your future without hesitation. As you take these inspired actions, see them as confirmation of your wealthy state. Appreciate them as evidence of your transformation rather than prerequisites for it. This subtle shift in perspective can make all the difference in maintaining your faith. It's also important to cultivate patience. The physical world, it may take time to fully reflect your new inner state. This is where many people falter, giving up just before their vision starts to materialize. But remember, every moment you maintain your faith in your wealthy state is bringing you closer to its physical manifestation. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing. You trust in the natural process, providing water and sunlight consistently. In the same way, you must trust in the process of manifestation, consistently providing the warmth of your imagination and the sunlight of your faith. As you persist in this practice, you begin to notice signs of your manifesting wealth. Perhaps unexpected opportunities arise. Maybe you receive a surprise refund or bonus. Or you might simply feel a growing sense of peace and confidence about money. Celebrate these signs, no matter how small. See them as confirmation that your faith is working, that your new reality is taking shape. But don't stop there. Use these manifestations to fuel your faith even further. Let them strengthen your conviction in the power of your consciousness to create your reality. Let them inspire you to dream even bigger, to expand your vision of what's possible. As your faith grows stronger, you will find that maintaining your state of wealth consciousness becomes easier and more natural. What once felt like an effort becomes your default state. You no longer have to constantly remind yourself to think abundantly. It will simply be who you are. This is when true transformation occurs. You're no longer acting as if you're wealthy. You are wealthy in the deepest sense of the word. Your wealth is no longer dependent on external circumstances. It's an inner state of abundance that flows out into every aspect of your life. From this place of unshakable faith, you become a powerful force for abundance in the world. Your very presence inspires others to believe in the possibility of wealth. Your actions create ripples of prosperity that extend far beyond your personal finances. But perhaps the greatest reward of this persistent faith is the profound sense of peace it brings. When you truly know, at the core of your being, that abundance is your natural state, that you have the power to create the wealth you desire. You're free to enjoy life fully, to give generously, to pursue your passions without the constant stress of money concerns. This is the true promise of wealth consciousness, not just material abundance, but a deep, abiding sense of enoughness, and knowing that you are the source of your abundance, and that source is infinite and eternal. So as you move forward on this journey of manifesting wealth, commit to cultivating this persistent faith. Choose each and every day to stand firm in your vision of abundance, regardless of external circumstances. Use your imagination to make your inner experience of wealth more real than any temporary financial challenge. Take inspired action from a place of confidence and abundance. And above all, trust in the process. Trust in the creative power of your consciousness. Trust that, as you maintain your faith, as you persist in your assumed state of wealth, your external reality must and will conform to your inner world. Remember, this journey of transformation is not about reaching a destination. It's about embracing a new way of being. Every day is an opportunity to strengthen your faith, to deepen your wealth consciousness, to align more fully with the abundance that is your true nature. The power to create the wealth you desire has always been within you. Through your persistent faith, you're not just manifesting money or possessions, you're manifesting the truth of who you be. a being of infinite abundance, living in a universe of limitless possibility. So, are you ready to stand firm in your faith? Are you prepared to persist in your vision of wealth, no matter what? The choice is yours. The power is within you. And a world of true abundance awaits your unwavering belief. As we conclude this exploration of acting as if you are wealthy, remember that the transformation you seek is already within you. You have the imagination to create a vivid vision of wealth. You have the power to assume that state as your current reality. And you have a capacity for persistent faith that will bring that vision into manifestation. The journey may not always be easy, but it is always worth it. For in choosing to act as if you are wealthy, in choosing to align with the abundance that is your true nature, you're not just changing your financial reality. You're stepping into the fullness of who you truly are. You're claiming the life of joy, freedom and abundance that has already been your birthright. So go forth with confidence. Live from that state of all consciousness. Maintain your faith even when circumstances seem to contradict it. And watch in awe as your life transforms, reflecting the abundance that has always been within you. The power is yours. The time is now. Your wealthy self awaits.
When I tell you to act as if you are the best, I'm not speaking of arrogance or comparison with others. I'm speaking of recognizing and embodying your divine nature. For you are God's own image and likeness made manifest in flesh. Many of you come to these lectures believing that others are better than you, more talented than you, more deserving than you. But I tell you this, such beliefs are nothing but assumed limitations. And like all assumptions, they can be changed in a single moment of understanding. Consider this: when scripture says, I am that I am, it's revealing the fundamental truth of your being. You are not becoming the best, you are the best. Your only task is to recognize and assume this truth until it becomes your living reality. Let me share with you what I mean by acting as if you are the best. It's not about competing with others or proving your superiority. It's about assuming the state of being the person you desire to be, knowing that no one can prevent you from expressing your highest conception of yourself. When you truly grasp that consciousness is the only reality, you understand that your concept of self determines everything you experience. If you assume others are better than you, the universe must conform to provide experiences that confirm this assumption. If you assume you are the best, the universe must, and I emphasize must, reorganize itself to reflect this assumption back to you. Here's a profound truth that few understand. Your present concept of self, the one that makes you feel less than others, is just as much a step as the one I'm asking you to adopt. You weren't born believing others were better than you. You learned to assume this through experience and accepted it as truth. Changing this assumption requires a complete revision of your self-concept. You must begin to live from the assumption that you are the best, not through comparison with others, but through the recognition of your divine nature. For when I say you are the best, I'm speaking of your true identity as pure consciousness. Let me share with you what happens in consciousness when you truly assume you are the best. First, all sense of competition falls away. When you know you are the best, you don't need to prove it to anyone. You don't need to diminish others to elevate yourself. You simply are, and that knowing is enough. Many of you make the mistake of trying to become the best through effort and struggle. But I tell you this, you cannot become what you already are. Your task is not to become the best, but to recognize and assume that you already are the best. This is what scripture means when it says, be still and know that I am God. Consider this. Everything you're experiencing now, every limitation, every feeling of being less than others, is simply the harvested fruit of your past assumptions. The universe has been faithfully reflecting back to you what you have assumed about yourself. If you've assumed others are better, the universe has provided evidence to support this assumption. But here is the liberating truth. You can change this pattern in a single moment by assuming a new concept of self. When you assume you are the best, the universe has no choice but to rearrange itself to reflect this new assumption. This is law, and the law never fails. Let me tell you something about assuming you are the best. It has nothing to do with ego or pride. It's about recognizing your divine nature and allowing it to express through you. When you truly assume this state, you naturally want others to recognize and express their divine nature as well. This is why the command is to love your neighbor as yourself. When you truly recognize your own divine nature, you automatically get others. In others, you don't need to compete with them because you understand that their success doesn't diminish your own greatness. Expressing your divine nature means living from the assumption that you are the best version of yourself right now, in this moment. Not tomorrow, not when circumstances change, but now. For in consciousness, where all creation takes place, there is no waiting, no becoming, there is only being. Let me share with you a principle that many find difficult to accept. Your current circumstances have no power to prevent you from assuming you are the best. Your bank account, your education, your background, your past failures, none of these can stop you from assuming a new concept of self. They are merely shadows of past assumptions. Many of you say, but Neville, how can I assume I'm the best when others are more qualified, more successful, more experienced? I tell you this, these comparisons exist only in your imagination. And if they exist in your imagination, they can be revised in your imagination. For imagination creates reality. Consider this, every great individual who ever lived first assumed their greatness before it became visible to others. They didn't wait for circumstances to make them great. They assumed their greatness, and circumstances had to conform to their assumption. This is the law. When you truly assume you are the best, something remarkable happens in consciousness. All sense of strain, all need to prove yourself, all fear of competition falls away. You begin to move through life with a confidence that needs no external validation. Let me tell you something about this state of being the best. It's not about being better than others. It's about being better than your previous concept of yourself. When you assume this state, you naturally inspire others to rise to their best as well. For when one rises, all rise. Here's a profound truth about assuming you are the best. The universe cannot give you less than what you assume for yourself. If you assume mediocrity, the universe must provide experiences of mediocrity. If you assume excellence, the universe must provide experiences of excellence. Assuming excellence means occupying the state of being excellent in your imagination until it becomes your dominant feeling. Not just during meditation or visualization, but in every moment of your daily life. Your every thought, your every action, your every reaction must spring from this new assumption. Let me share with you what happens when you truly assume you are the best. Your walk changes, your talk changes, your posture changes, not through conscious effort, but as a natural expression of your new self-concept. The universe must then reshape itself to match this new expression. Many of you make the mistake of trying to act confident while maintaining an inner feeling of inadequacy. But I tell you this, the universe responds not to your outer actions, but to your inner feeling tone. You must feel your excellence in the very depths of your being. Consider this, right now in this very moment, there are infinite states of consciousness available to you. The state of being the best already exists, complete and perfect. Your task is not to create this state, but to occupy it through your assumption. When you assume you are the best, you stop seeking approval from others. You stop comparing yourself to others. You stop making excuses for why you can't succeed. These behaviors cannot exist in the consciousness of one who truly knows their own excellence. Let me tell you something crucial about maintaining this state. You will be tested. The world of Caesar will present you with evidence that seems to contradict your assumption. Old circumstances, old relationships, old patterns will persist for a time. This is law. But here's the secret. These circumstances have no power except the power you give them through your reaction. If you maintain your assumption of being the best despite contrary evidence, that very evidence must change to match your assumption. Handling contrary evidence is where most people falter in their assumption of being the best. When circumstances seem to deny your assumption, when others doubt you, when results don't immediately appear, this is when you must stand most firmly in your conviction. Let me share with you a principle that has proven itself countless times. The outer world will continue to reflect your old concept of self for a time. This is not a denial of your new assumption. It is an opportunity to strengthen it. Every circumstance that seems to deny your excellence is actually an opportunity to prove your assumption. Many of you abandon your assumption of being the best at the first sign of failure or criticism. But I tell you this, those very failures, those very criticisms, when met with unwavering assumption of your excellence, become the building blocks of your success. For what you persist in assuming must become your reality. Consider this. When you truly know you are the best, failure becomes impossible. You may face temporary setbacks, but in your consciousness, these are merely stepping stones to your inevitable success. This is how the great ones think. And this is how you must think if you would assume your greatness. The universe responds not to what others think of you, not to your past performance, not to your current circumstances, but to your persistent assumption. If you maintain the feeling of being the best despite all evidence to the contrary, the universe must, and I emphasize must, reorganize itself to match your assumption. Let me tell you something about persistence in your assumption. It's not about duration in time, but about the intensity of conviction. One moment of complete acceptance of your excellence is worth more than years of half-hearted affirmations. The universe responds not to time, but to the intensity of your assumption. Here's a profound truth about maintaining your assumption. You don't maintain it by fighting against current conditions. You maintain it by remaining so centered in your excellence that current conditions become irrelevant. Just as light doesn't fight darkness, it simply shines. You don't fight against limitations. You simply radiate excellence. Radiating excellence comes from a deep inner conviction that transcends all external circumstances. When you truly assume you are the best, this assumption radiates from you naturally, without effort, without strain, without trying to convince others. It becomes as natural as breathing. Let me share with you what I mean by radiating excellence. When you wake in the morning, before you even open your eyes, feel the naturalness of being the best. Not with excitement or enthusiasm, but with the quiet certainty of knowing who you really are. This feeling should be as natural as knowing your own name. Many of you try to radiate excellence through outer actions, through your clothes, your possessions, your achievements. But I tell you this, true excellence radiates from within. It's not something you do, it's something you are. The outer manifestations will follow naturally when your inner assumption is secure. Consider this, everything in your world right now is a reflection of your past radiation. If you've been radiating doubt, uncertainty, or feelings of inadequacy, the universe has faithfully reflected these back to you. The universe can only reflect what you radiate from within. When you truly radiate excellence, something remarkable happens. Others begin to recognize and respond to it. Not because you're trying to impress them, but because they can't help but respond to the conviction you carry within. This is why Scripture says, let your light so shine before men. Let me tell you something vital about radiating excellence. It must be consistent. You cannot radiate excellence for an hour and then return to radiating doubt and limitation. The universe responds to your predominant radiation, not to your occasional moments of feeling confident. Here's a profound truth about radiation. It affects everything in your world. When you truly radiate excellence, every person you meet, every circumstance you encounter must adjust itself to match your radiation. This is law, and the law never fails. Your radiation affects your world in ways that your logical mind could never conceive. When you consistently radiate the feeling of being the best, the entire universe must, and I emphasize must, rearrange itself to reflect this radiation back to you in the form of corresponding circumstances, events, and relationships. Let me share with you what happens when you maintain this radiation of excellent radiation. People who previously doubted you begin to see you differently. Opportunities that seemed close to you suddenly appear. Circumstances that appeared limiting begin to transform. Not because you're manipulating the outer world, but because your radiation is creating a new world. Many of you ask how long it will take for your world to reflect your new radiation. But I tell you this, time is not a factor in consciousness. The moment you achieve a complete conviction of being the best, the entire universe begins its reorganization. The time it takes for this to become visible depends solely on the intensity of your conviction. Consider this right now in this very moment. There are infinite versions of you existing simultaneously. There's a version where you're struggling, a version where you're succeeding, a version where you're the absolute best in your field. Your radiation determines which version you experience. When you truly understand this, you stop trying to compete with others. You realize that your only competition is with your previous concept of self. The only person you need to be better than is who you were yesterday. And this improvement comes not through strain or effort, but through assuming a higher concept of self. Let me tell you something about this radiation of excellence. It must become your natural state. Just as you don't think about breathing, you shouldn't have to think about being the best. It should be your default state, your natural way of being in the world. Here's a profound truth about maintaining this radiation. You don't maintain it by affirming it or by trying to convince others. You maintain it by living from it, by making it so much a part of your consciousness that you can't conceive of being any other way. Living from the state of being the best means making it your constant dwelling place in consciousness. Just as you naturally live in your physical home without constantly reminding yourself that it's your home, you must naturally live in the consciousness of being the best without constant mental effort. Let me share with you what happens when you truly live from this state. Your decisions change, your choices change, your responses to challenges change, not because you're trying to act differently, but because these new behaviors are the natural expression of your new state of consciousness. Many of you try to live from this state for a few hours or days, then slip back into your old patterns of thinking. But I tell you this, you must make a complete and permanent move into this new state. You must burn the bridges to your old concept of self. There can be no going back, no visiting your old limitations. Consider this. Every great achievement in human history came from someone who dared to live from the state of being the best. They didn't wait until circumstances confirmed their greatness. They assumed their greatness first. And circumstances had no choice but to conform to their assumption. When you truly live from the state of being the best, criticism cannot touch you, not because you've become immune to it, but because you're living in a state where criticism is irrelevant. Just as a king doesn't defend his right to the throne, you don't defend your excellence, you simply live from it. Let me tell you something vital about living from this state. It requires no effort once you're truly established in it. Just as it requires no effort to be who you currently believe yourself to be, it requires no effort to be the best once you fully assume that state. Here's a profound truth about living from the state of being the best. It transforms not just your future, but your past as well. When you fully occupy the state, you begin to see how every past experience, even the seemingly negative ones, contributed to your excellence. Many of you believe that being the best means constantly striving, constantly pushing, constantly competing. But I tell you this, true excellence comes from a state of being, not from doing. When you occupy the state of being the best, your actions flow naturally from that state without strain or effort. Consider this right now. You're living from some concept of self. This concept might be that you're average, that others are better, that you need to struggle to succeed. And the universe has faithfully reflected this concept back to you. But I tell you this, you can shift to a new concept of self in a single moment of understanding. When you truly grasp that being the best is your natural state, your divine inheritance, something remarkable happens. All the energy you've been using to compete, to prove yourself, to overcome limitations becomes available for creative expression. You stop trying to become and simply allow yourself to be. Let me tell you something about this state of being the best. It's not about superiority over others. It's about expressing your highest potential, about being the best version of yourself. When you truly occupy this state, you naturally want others to recognize and express their excellence as well. Here's a profound truth about living as the best. It's the most natural thing in the world once you understand your true identity. You are God's own imagination made manifest. How could you be anything less than the best? Any limitation you experience is simply a limitation you've accepted in imagination. Accepting your true identity as the best version of yourself requires a complete revision of everything you've believed about who you are. You must understand that your current concept of self, with all its limitations and doubts, is just as much an assumed state as the one I'm asking you to adopt. Let me share with you what happens when you fully accept your true identity. First, all sense of unworthiness falls away. You stop questioning whether you deserve success, whether you're good enough, whether you can achieve your goals. You know with absolute certainty that excellence is your natural state. Many of you have lived so long with a limited concept of self that being the best seems like an impossible dream. But I tell you this, that very feeling of impossibility is itself an assumption. And like all assumptions, it can be changed in a single moment through the power of your wonderful human imagination. Consider this. Every limitation you now accept, every feeling of being less than the best, is nothing more than a habit of consciousness. And habits, no matter how long established, can be changed through persistent assumption of a new state. This is law, and the law never fails. When you truly accept your identity as the best, your entire world must reshape itself to match this new self-concept. People who once intimidated you will find themselves responding to your new radiation. Circumstances that seem beyond your reach will naturally align themselves with your new assumption. Let me tell you something vital about maintaining this new identity. You don't maintain it through willpower or positive thinking. You maintain it through understanding. Once you truly understand that being the best is your natural state, you can no more doubt it than you can doubt your own existence. Here's a profound truth about your true identity. It's not something you need to create or achieve. It already exists, complete and perfect, waiting for you to step into it through assumption. Your only task is to accept it, to occupy it, to live from it. Many of you fluctuate between being excellent and feeling inadequate, depending on external circumstances. But I tell you this, such fluctuation is impossible when you truly occupy the state of being the best. Just as a king doesn't stop being a king during challenges, you don't stop being excellent when facing obstacles. Consider this, every experience you encounter is simply an opportunity to express your excellence. Even apparent failures become opportunities to demonstrate your unshakable conviction in your own greatness. For when you live from the state of being the best, failure becomes impossible. When you truly live from this identity, something remarkable happens to your relationship with time. You stop waiting to become excellent in the future and start expressing excellence now. For in consciousness, where all creation takes place, there is no waiting, no becoming, there is only being. Let me tell you something crucial about maintaining this state. The world will test your conviction. It must, for this is law. Old circumstances, old relationships, old patterns of failure will persist for a time. But these are not obstacles to your assumption. They are opportunities to strengthen it. Here's a profound truth about living from your true identity. It requires no effort once you're established in it. Just as you don't need effort to be who you currently believe yourself to be. You need no effort to be the best once you've fully accepted this as your true identity. Uncovering your natural excellence is like removing layers of dust from a perfect mirror. The brilliance was always there. It was merely covered by accumulated beliefs in limitation, doubt, and unworthiness. As you remove these false beliefs, your natural excellence shines forth with ever-increasing clarity. Let me share with you what happens when these layers of limitation begin to fall away. First, you stop seeking validation from others. You stop needing external confirmation of your excellence. You know who you are with such certainty that no external opinion can shake your conviction. Many of you have accumulated so many layers of limiting beliefs that your natural excellence seems like a distant dream. But I tell you this, these limitations are no more permanent than dust on a mirror. They can be wiped away in an instant through the power of your assumption. Consider this, every limiting belief you now hold, every doubt about your excellence, every fear of inadequacy was learned. And what can be learned can be unlearned. Your task is not to create excellence, but to remove the barriers to its expression. When you truly begin this process of uncovering your excellence, something remarkable happens to your entire worldview. You start to see that every circumstance, every relationship, every experience has been serving to reveal your true nature. Even your apparent failures have been leading you to this recognition. Let me tell you something crucial about this uncovering process. It happens not through effort, but through understanding. The moment you truly understand that excellence is your natural state, the layers of limitation begin to fall away of the awaken. Here's a profound truth about uncovering your excellence. The process is instantaneous in consciousness, but may appear gradual in manifestation. The moment you fully accept your true identity, the entire universe begins its reorganization to reflect this truth. The time it takes for this to become visible depends solely on the completeness of your acceptance. The process of accepting your natural excellence requires a complete revision of your self-concept. You must be willing to release every belief, every idea, every concept that contradicts your true identity as the best. This is not something you do gradually. It must be absolute and complete. Let me share with you what happens when this acceptance becomes total. First, all internal conflict ceases. The battle between who you think you should be and who you think you are ends completely. There is only the quiet certainty of knowing your true identity as the best. Many of you try to accept your excellence while still holding on to doubts and limitations. But I tell you this, such partial acceptance is no acceptance at all. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot live from the state of being the best while maintaining a backup identity of limitation. Consider this, your current concept of self, with all its limitations and doubts, is just as much an assumed state as the one I'm asking you to adopt. The only difference is that you've practiced your current concept longer. But time is no factor in consciousness. A new state, fully accepted, becomes just as natural as any long-held belief. When you truly accept your excellence without reservation, something remarkable happens to your entire experience of life. What once seemed like obstacles become opportunities. What once seemed like competition becomes irrelevant. What once seemed like limitations become launching pads for greater expression. Let me tell you something vital about this acceptance. It must be unconditional. You can accept your excellence only when circumstances support it. You must maintain this acceptance regardless of external conditions, knowing that conditions must conform to your consciousness, not the other way around. Here's a profound truth about complete acceptance. It transforms not just your future, but your past as well. When you fully accept your excellence, you begin to see how every past experience, even the seemingly negative ones, was perfectly designed to lead you to this recognition. You may perceive it as a linear progression with success occurring gradually over days, weeks, or years. But I say unto you, true manifestation, the kind that alters the very fabric of your reality and brings forth the success you seek, can occur in a single night, in a single moment of focused imagination and unwavering belief. But what does it truly mean to manifest success in just one night? It is not a matter of external circumstances magically changing while you sleep. It is a state of consciousness, a shift in your very being that aligns you with the creative power of the universe. It is about recognizing that your consciousness, your awareness of being successful, is the only reality, and that a profound shift in this awareness can and will transform your entire world. Let us delve deeper into this profound truth. Your outer world, every experience you have, every circumstance you encounter, is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world, your concept of self. And this concept of self can be radically altered in a single night through the power of your imagination. When you understand this, truly understand it, you realize that by carefully choosing and vividly imagining a new state of being successful for a single night, you are actively creating a new reality that will unfold in your experience. This understanding is crucial, for it shifts the entire paradigm of how you approach success. No longer are you a helpless being at the mercy of time and circumstance, hoping for gradual improvement. You become the active creator of your successful reality, knowing that as you assume a new state of being successful in your imagination for a single night, the universe must rearrange itself to match this new inner assumption. But how, you may ask, can one night have such a profound and lasting impact on manifesting success? The answer lies in the creative power of your wonderful human imagination, combined with the intensity of your feeling and belief. For your imagination is not a mere fantasy maker, and your feelings are not mere reactions to external stimuli. Together, they form the very workshop in which success is forged. Let us take a moment to truly understand this. Your subconscious mind, which is one with the universal creative force, does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and feel as true, and what you actually experience in the outer world. It accepts as true whatever you feel to be true in your imaginal acts. And once it accepts an idea as true, it proceeds to bring it into manifestation in your physical reality, regardless of how long it takes in clock time. So when you spend a single night wholly absorbed in the feeling of being successful, when you fall asleep in the absolute conviction that you are now the successful person you desire to be, you are not engaging in wishful thinking or self-deception. You are actively creating your new successful reality from within. You are aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe, allowing it to work through you, and for you to manifest the success you desire. This, my dear listeners, is the essence of how one night can manifest success. It is about recognizing that the power to shape your successful reality lies within you, waiting to be expressed through your conscious imaginal acts. It is about understanding that your outer world of success is nothing more than a reflection of your inner concept of self, which can be radically altered in a single, focused night of imagination. Consider the biblical phrase, "This night thy soul shall be required of thee." This is not a mere poetic expression or a threat of impending doom. It is a statement of cosmic law, an invitation to recognize the power of a single night of transformed consciousness. When you truly embody a new state of being successful in your imagination, when you feel its reality with every fiber of your being, you are changed in that very moment. The outer manifestation of success may take time to catch up, but the inner transformation is instantaneous. But let me be clear, this one night of transformation to manifest success is not about forced visualizations or strained affirmations. It is about a total immersion in the feeling of being your successful self. When you truly embody this practice, you naturally assume the thoughts, feelings, and inner conversations of the successful person you desire to be. You go to sleep not as the person struggling for success, but as the person who has already achieved it. Let us explore this further with an example. Imagine a person who has always struggled with achieving success in their career. For years, their inner dialogue has been filled with self-doubt and limitation. Now, imagine this person deciding to spend one night fully embodying the state of being a successful professional in their field. As they lie in bed, they immerse themselves in the feeling of being highly accomplished and respected. They feel the satisfaction, the confidence, the inner peace of someone who has achieved great success. They allow this feeling of success to permeate every cell of their being. They fall asleep in this state, carrying it into their dreams. When they awaken, something has shifted. They may not see immediate external changes in their career, but internally, they are no longer the same person. They have experienced the reality of being successful, and this new self-concept begins to reshape their outer world. In the days and weeks that follow, they find themselves naturally acting with more confidence in their professional life. They speak up with innovative ideas in meetings where they would have previously remained silent. They pursue opportunities they would have once thought beyond their reach. And as they do so, their outer world begins to reflect this new inner state of success. Colleagues respond to them differently. New career opportunities open up. Their entire professional life begins to transform, all stemming from that one night of focused imagination of success. This principle of manifesting success in one night applies to every aspect of your life. Whether you desire success in your career, relationships, health, or any other area, the key is to spend one night fully embodying that state of success in your imagination. Feel the reality of being successful in all areas of your life. Fall asleep in that state, knowing that as you do so, you are planting a seed of success in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind that must grow into your outer reality. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, can one night really make such a difference in manifesting success? Surely lasting success requires more time and effort. And to this I say, time is an illusion of the physical world. In the realm of consciousness where all creation takes place, there is only the eternal now. One night of fully embodying a new state of success can indeed reshape your entire future, for it plants a seed of a new successful self-concept that will inevitably grow into manifestation. Remember, the outer world is dead. It has no life of its own. It is your consciousness, your concept of self as a successful being, that gives life to your experiences. When you spend one night fully embodying a new state of success, you are breathing life into a new successful reality. You are setting in motion a series of events that must culminate in the outer expression of this new inner state of success. This, my dear friends, is the true secret to how one night can manifest success. It is about aligning your entire being with a new concept of self as a successful person, recognizing that this new successful self is seeking expression through you, and allowing it to flow into your experience through the power of your focused imagination and unwavering belief. But let me warn you, this one night of transformation to manifest success is not always an easy task. The old habits of thought and feeling, the familiar self-concept of struggle or limitation you've held for so long, may try to reassert themselves. As you lie in bed, attempting to embody your new successful state, doubts may creep in. The voice of your old self may try to convince you that success is impossible, that you're fooling yourself. When this happens, do not fight against these thoughts. Simply observe them, acknowledge them, and then gently return to the feeling of your new successful state of being. For the war is not won by battling against what you don't want to be, but by persistently embodying what you do want to be. This persistence, this unwavering commitment, maintaining your new state of success throughout the night, in the face of doubts and contrary evidence, is what allows you to truly manifest success in a single night. I think of it like tuning a radio. When you're trying to listen to a particular station, you don't focus on eliminating all the other stations. You simply tune into the frequency you desire. In the same way, you don't need to fight against your current reality or forcefully push away doubts about success. You simply need to tune yourself to the frequency of success, to align your entire consciousness with the successful person you wish to become. This tuning is done through your focused imagination and your ability to generate and maintain the feeling of your successful state. Your imagination is the dial that allows you to tune into different frequencies of experience. As you use your imagination to fully embody your successful state, as you feel the reality of being this successful version of yourself, you are tuning yourself to that frequency, allowing the corresponding experiences of success to flow into your life. But remember, my friends, while the inner transformation can occur in a single night, the full manifestation of this success in your outer world may take time. The seed of success planted in one night of focused imagination will grow, but it must go through its natural stages of development. Do not be discouraged if you do not see immediate dramatic changes in your external circumstances. Know that the moment you succeeded in fully embodying your successful state, even for that one night, the manifestation of success became inevitable. As you persist in maintaining this new successful state in your daily life, you will find that your perception of yourself and your world begins to shift. What once seemed like limitations now appear as opportunities for growth and success. Challenges become stepping stones to greater achievements. You begin to see yourself as the empowered, successful being you imagined yourself to be on that transformative night. Now, some of you may be wondering, but Neville, how can I ensure that I maintain this successful state beyond that one night? How can I prevent falling back into old patterns of thinking and feeling that may hinder my success? And to this, I say the power of that one night lies not just in the intensity of the experience, but in the knowing it brings. Once you have experienced the reality of your successful state, even if only in your imagination. You have tasted the truth of your divine nature as a successful being. This knowing becomes an anchor, a reference point to which you can always return. In the days and weeks that follow your transformative night of manifesting success, you may face moments of doubt or challenge. In these moments, recall the feeling of that night. Remember the reality of being your successful self. Let that memory, that knowing, guide you back to your new state of being successful. For having experienced it once, you can experience it again and again, each time strengthening your new self-concept of success. The key is to make your imaginal experience of success as real and vivid as possible. Engage all your senses. As you lie in bed, preparing for your night of transformation to manifest success, see yourself as a successful person you desire to be. Hear the congratulations and admiration of others acknowledging your success. Feel the confidence, the joy, the fulfillment of being this successful version of yourself. Make it so real that your rational mind cannot distinguish between this imaginal act and physical reality. But here's a crucial point, my friends. The goal is not to imagine specific events or circumstances of success. The goal is to embody the essence of your successful state of being. For it is this state of being that is the true attractor of your successful experiences. Let me illustrate this with an example. Instead of imagining yourself receiving a specific job offer or a particular sum of money embodying the state of being a successful and financially abundant person, feel the security, the freedom, the joy that comes with this successful state. Instead of picturing a specific achievement or accolade, embody the state of being a person of great accomplishment and recognition in your field. Feel the satisfaction, the confidence, the sense of purpose that comes with this successful state. By focusing on the state of being successful rather than specific outcomes, you allow the universe to bring your success to you in ways that might far exceed your specific imaginings. You open yourself to possibilities of success beyond what your current mindset can conceive. This is the true art of manifesting success in a single night. It's not about forcing yourself to believe in a particular version of success against all evidence. It's about aligning your entire being with the truth of our divine nature as a successful being, your oneness with the creative power of the universe. It's about spending one night fully embodying the highest vision of who you truly are as a successful person. As you practice this, you may find that your outer world begins to shift in subtle ways that indicate growing success. Perhaps you start to feel more confident and empowered in your work. Or you find yourself naturally making choices that align with your vision of success. Or opportunities for growth and achievement seem to appear out of nowhere. These are all signs that your inner transformation, initiated in that one powerful night, is creating ripples of success in your outer reality. Don't discount these small changes on your path to success. Celebrate them. See them as confirmation that the law is working, that your night of transformation has taken root and is manifesting success. But don't become attached to them or anxiously look for them. Simply acknowledge them with gratitude and continue to live from your new state of being a successful person. As you persist in this practice, larger manifestations of success will begin to unfold. You may find yourself naturally attracting experiences that align with your new self-concept of success. You may notice that your career takes off in unexpected ways, that your financial situation improves dramatically, that you achieve goals you once thought impossible. And as you continue to maintain the state of success you embodied on that transformative night, you'll discover that life becomes an exciting adventure of ever-expanding achievement and fulfillment. But remember, the outer manifestation of success is not the ultimate goal. The goal is the state of being from which all desired experiences of success naturally flow. This is a crucial point, my friends. When you've truly transformed in that one night, when you're fully living from your new state of being successful, you no longer need external circumstances to confirm your success. You're already whole, already complete in your knowing that you are the successful person you've imagined yourself to be. And paradoxically, it's in this state of inner assurance that you're most likely to experience a life that reflects your ideal self-concept of success. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, what about action? Don't we need to do things in the physical world to bring about success? And to this, I say yes, action is part of the process of manifesting success. But it's inspired action, not anxious doing. When you've spent a night fully embodying your successful state, ideas and opportunities will naturally present themselves to you. You'll feel inspired to take certain actions, to move in certain directions that align with your vision of success. These actions won't feel like struggle or effort. They'll feel natural, joyful, almost effortless. They will be the natural outgrowth of your new state of being a successful person. This is the difference between trying to make success happen and allowing it to happen. When you're trying to force success, actions feel stressful, born out of fear and doubt. When you've truly embodied a new state of being successful, actions flow naturally from your aligned state, guided by an inner wisdom, exactly half a dream about the manifestation of your success. Consider the example of a seed transforming into a mighty oak tree. The seed doesn't strain to become a tree. It doesn't force itself to grow. It simply unfolds naturally, expressing its innate potential. You, my dear listeners, are no different. When you enter the state of your imagination for that one transformative night, embodying your successful state, you allow your success to unfold naturally and beautifully, expressing the infinite potential that is your birthright. But let me be clear, this state of allowing success to manifest is not passive. It requires an active use of your imagination, a deliberate and focused embodiment of your successful state. It requires faith, not blind faith in external circumstances, but faith in the creative power of your consciousness and your ability to manifest success in a single night. This faith is not about believing that success will come someday in the future. It's about knowing that the change has already occurred in that one night of transformation, and that your outer world must inevitably conform to this new inner reality of success. As you cultivate this faith, as you persist in living from the successful state you embodied in that one night, you'll begin to see evidence of your success manifesting in your outer world. These signs may start small. A newfound confidence in a situation that would have previously intimidated you. A flash of insight that leads to a breakthrough in your work. An unexpected opportunity that aligns perfectly with your vision of success. Do not discount these signs, no matter how small they may seem, for they are confirmation that your inner transformation, initiated in that one powerful night, is indeed shaping your outer reality of success. They are breadcrumbs leading you to the full realization of the successful life you have created. As we near the conclusion of our discussion, I want to address a common concern that arises when people first encounter this teaching about manifesting success in one night. Many worry that focusing on personal success in this way might somehow make them selfish or disconnected from others. But I assure you, my friends, the opposite is true. When you truly understand the principle of manifesting success through focused imagination, you realize that you are not separate from others. As you elevate your own consciousness through your imaginal acts of success, you are elevating the consciousness of all. Your personal success, far from disconnecting you from others, actually expands the field of possibilities for all. When you manifest success, you become an inspiration, a living example of what is possible when one aligns with their true divine nature. Moreover, when you are coming from a place of being your successful self, you naturally have more to give to others. You become a beacon of possibility, a living example of the power of consciousness to reshape reality. Your success creates a ripple effect, touching the lives of everyone you encounter with your newfound energy, confidence, and achievements. This is the true gift of manifesting success in a single night. It's not just about improving your individual circumstances, although that will happen. It's about aligning yourself with the fundamental nature of the universe, which is boundless potential and perpetual creation. It's about recognizing your own divine nature as a successful being and allowing it to express itself fully through you. In this state of alignment, of living from the success you experienced in that one powerful night, you become a channel for the most beautiful expressions of life. Ideas flow to you effortlessly. Opportunities present themselves naturally. The right people and circumstances appear in your life at the perfect time. This is the magic of living from your transformed state of being successful. But remember, this magic is not something external to you. It's not some cosmic force that you need to appease or manipulate. It is the natural expression of your own consciousness when it's aligned with the truth of your being. You are the power. You are the success. You are the one who has transformed yourself in that single, focused night of imagination. As we draw our time together to a close, I want to leave you with a final thought. The principle we've explored tonight, just one night to your manifest success, is not just a technique for personal achievement. It's about recognizing your true nature as a divine, creative being. It's about aligning your entire being with the fundamental truth of who you are and allowing your grandest expression of success to flow through you. When you live from this understanding, everything changes. The world becomes a friendly place filled with infinite possibilities for success. You no longer see yourself as a small, separate being struggling to achieve. Instead, you recognize yourself as the author of your own success story, the creator of your own thriving reality. In this state, there's no need to chase after success or doubt your ability to achieve, for you understand that you are the source of all success. Your job is simply to enter that state of focused imagination for one night, to live from that successful consciousness, and to allow the universe to arrange the details of its manifestation. So my dear friends, as you leave here tonight, I urge you to embrace this principle with all your heart. Don't see it as a technique to be applied occasionally, but as a way of life to be lived continuously. Use your mighty imagination to immerse yourself fully in your successful state of being. Feel the naturalness of being the successful, empowered being you truly are. Live from this state, persist in this knowing, and watch as your world rearranges itself to match your inner transformation of success.